Hey everybody, I'm in Yohmor, al-Shaqif in the south of Lebanon. Some of these areas, not this here, but others were occupied by the Israelis. They withdrew from part of them during the fighting, and they are still in some areas that direction. There was an MK drone up there. Its sound is far now. We were here visiting during a funeral for one of the martyrs from the village. And as you can see, there's extensive damage to many of the homes here. We are very close to the corner of the borders between Palestine, Lebanon, and Syria. And yesterday, the Israeli military occupied Mount Hermon, the Syrian side of it, and the Quneitra area, the whole buffer zone, the demilitarized zone of the Ceasefire 1973. And the Israelis announced that they have abandoned the ceasefire treaty with Syria from 1974 and are now occupying a buffer zone of more than 15 kilometers inside the liberated parts of the Golan, now reoccupied. These villages overlook Palestine. Just under us here is the riverbed for the Litani River. So the valley here starts the Litani River. We are in the Shaqif Castle, al-Shaqif, Beaufort Castle, and as you can see, the Israelis hit the castle. This is a Crusader castle that has withstood many wars since the Crusades, and I'm not sure this is safe to walk onto, but we're gonna try it anyways. Across from us there is the Golan Heights. The top of the clouds is Jabal al-Sheikh, right there. That got occupied yesterday by the Israelis from the Syrian side. There's more damage, as we can see here, to the historical site. We were arguing before starting to film here, would they have attacked it? And as you can hear, there's a drone hovering close to us. We thought that the Israelis wouldn't want to hit the castle because of their gluttony to occupy South Lebanon. They may have wanted to have this castle as a place to have as a souvenir, but clearly they don't care. There's some wild dogs that have occupied, it seems, the castle since everybody has abandoned it. I'm going to take a look up there to see if more damage. I can see rocks all over the place here, so there must have been something that got hit up there. Oh Lord. سقف. يا الله. Nice pieces of a missile. With another guided missile. It's clear they hit up there somewhere on the top of the fort. Huge pieces fell off. They were probably trying to block any use of the fort by anybody, and to make sure that the Lebanese people lose another one of their historical sites that they're very proud of. This drone is hovering closer every time we come out of the underground part.
Beaufort here, and it looks like it didn't explode, so we should not touch it. Let's check what died.
Anyone comes to this castle after the war, it's a very close castle.
انتبه هون.
Hey everybody, we're inside al-Shaqif Castle, or Beaufort as it's known in French. Crusader Castle just north of the Nabateeya town. Very close under us here is the river, the Litani River, and we're very close to the Golan Heights. We showed you some footage of it and the Palestinian occupied territories. With me is Hadi Hotait, our cameraman and reporter. We're here together. We are the first journalists here since the attempted invasion of South Lebanon. Is that correct, Hadi?
Yes, I guess that we can easily see how nobody entered recently this place. The strike on the bridge connecting the castle with the parking was also, it's obvious that no one cleaned the place, and we're in a very close distance to the occupied territories in Palestine, and also the Israelis are still in the nearby villages of Kafar Kila and Markaba and Hula, which we can easily see from here. And also the Khiyam village, where the fiercest fights with the Israelis happened, is also on the other side, a few kilometers away from us. And this road that we have seen when we were walking by the road down there, it's the road that was connecting Nabatiya with Al-Khiyam, and that was targeted many times. And the Israelis tried to actually to set up a checkpoint near the Khiyam village, but of course they were later repelled by the resistance.
There was also very close to here in the Litani River was the Hollywood production there of the Israeli
commandos
going in to touch the river and claim that they reached it, just under us here. Can you explain to our viewers why we are sitting in this hallway inside the castle right now? We're not looking out.
Yeah, because last night, after calling you and deciding to come here, Afikhai Adrai, the spokesman of the Israeli army, decided that no Lebanese person can come here. And they issued this warning at late night that you shouldn't come to Arnon. And also they said that we shouldn't come to Yohmor, where we were before Arnon. If you're witnessing the funeral with hundreds of people who were gathered in Arnon to honor the martyr. His name was Haidar Khomeini Illaik. He was one of the last fighters who got martyred in this war, and he just received his funeral ceremony today in Yohmor village. So the people here are still defying and refusing to abide by the new rule that the Israelis are trying to impose on this part of South Lebanon, which is, of course, South Lebanon is not small, as you can see in front of us, and I hope that you can include the footage in the video. But this is a small part of it that they are trying to claim that that it will have special rules now because of what happened during the war. But people here are defying this. Even this road connecting, Nabatiya to Farkila and Khiyam, we witnessed cars, civilian cars that are traveling from Nabatiya to Khiyam and to other places. Although the Israelis are still present and occupying some points in Farkila and in the eastern and southern part of the Khiyam village, but they should be withdrawing in less than 50 days and even 40 days, I guess. And I believe that if they didn't abide by the conditions of the ceasefire agreement, that the resistance will have a different standpoint and will decide to not leave things to the government to act, but to act directly, like it was the case 20 years or maybe 25 years after the occupation.
There is a drone right now hovering on top of us. It started following us once we got close to the castle, and it keeps on going in and out.
I hope it's following you, not me.
Well, you never know. We're all enemies of.
We should separate each other and see which side the drone will.
The drone will go. Yes. And we were overlooking on that side the Golan Heights and Jabal al-Sheikh, or Mount Hermon is known in English.
Yes. It has snow on it right now.
Right now it has snow on it. It's a little bit covered with clouds also. We couldn't catch it with this camera. We didn't pull out any cameras with big zooms.
We can't because the Israelis might think that we are spying or something, or if you have heavy equipments with us. So we came here only with a small tripod and this camera, pocket camera. You can't have big lenses.
The Zionist enemy has no morals, has no limits, has no red lines. And as we saw, they targeted civilians, they targeted media, they targeted
even after the ceasefire, they targeted many journalists in Khiyam, basically. One of our friends, you know him, her relative's father was targeted in Khiyam with sniper fire by the Israelis. But this was the first or second day after the ceasefire.
Let's explain, yesterday the Israelis taking the top of Mount Hermon, how that not only obviously endangers Syria and occupies Syrian territory, but how does that endanger the south of Lebanon and the Beqa Valley?
No, the Israelis had positions overlooking Lebanon. They had many positions before occupying this part of the Mount Hermon, but
they took now the Syrian
now
outpost
when they
on
took
top
the
of
Syrian outposts, they have control on the whole mountain, and this was their dream. This was, they wanted to annex this mountain, like they do in South Lebanon now. They have problems with some villages because they are overlooking occupied Palestine. They want to occupy the villages that are a bit high and that overlooks some places in occupied Palestine, especially, for example, Al-Khiyam. Al-Khiyam, it has the Hamamis hill that received heavy fire during the war. I can't remember a day when they didn't hit Khiyam with artillery or with airstrikes. And mainly because Al-Hamamis hill, it overlooks Sahl al-Huli, and inside Kiryat Shmona, you can even see from, if you look at the map, you can see that it's overlooking the other side of the occupied territories, and that can give the resistance an advantage in attacking inside places in occupied Palestine. And this is why they are insisting, and they were insisting on attacking Khiyam and conquering Khiyam. And this is why I believe they are still there right now. They don't want to give it to the resistance because they are afraid that the resistance will rebuild its power and capabilities over there. But of course, this is not the end point. There are the new weapons, like the guided inclined ATGMs, like Almas and other mini cruise missiles. They can solve this problem even if they were thinking that taking some hills that overlooks the occupied territory can stop the resistance from targeting them. I think that the resistance proved that their capabilities were a lot more developed than this.
So yesterday, as the Israelis were occupying the Mount Hermon Syrian side and 6 or 7 villages in the foothills of the Golan Heights on the Syrian side, they also attempted to cross from Ras al-Naqura and walked into a landmine field. Yes. One of their colonizers' soldiers got killed and many injured.
Eight were injured. 3 of them seriously wounded.
And so they also attempted around Shab'a farms yesterday to also advance a little bit.
Yeah, that's related to the Golan part, and this is the same thing basically. They are over in Shab'a and Julan. They are, they are trying to reach better points for them and better locations, because right now the Syrian government has fallen, and you know what's happening.
They kidnapped 2 shepherds in Shab'a yesterday.
Correct.
So now we know that there is, the Lebanese captain, these 2 shepherds. Is there other Lebanese captives that the Israelis are holding right now?
I believe that there are many prisoners, prisoners of war, of course, we're talking. So that they were, but the number, I believe that it's not more than 10 in the whole war. No more than 10 people were captured by the Israelis during this war. And right now, I guess that, like always, these things will be solved after the ceasefire settles down and things, become obvious and clear what's happening, what's going to be the situation after the war. And this is when the negotiations for releasing these prisoners of war will be starting, and this is a long process. Usually it takes months and sometimes takes years.
Well, Syria fell now to the Wahhabi Contras under Turkish control, and they watched as Israel bombarded yesterday all of the Syrian air defenses, the strategic weapons depots for all the long-range missiles.
This shows you
and
how
the destruction of the ministries of foreign affairs, the Ministry of Defense. And all of that.
And this shows you how the Israelis weren't doing this when the Syrian army was still there. Even though the people were talking like the Syrian army has no effect over Israel, and many people were saying this, but you can see how the Israelis now are very happy that the Syrian army, the government fell, and the Syrian army right now is cannot take any kind of action against Israel because there is no government.
Yeah.
And we can
so
see,
over 100 raids, at least 200 targets destroyed.
They are destroying the missiles, the air defense systems, the long-range missiles, the medium-range missiles, the missiles factory, the research facilities. And of course,
clearly the Syrian government and the Syrian military before were successful in shooting down much of the attacks that were happening at them.
Yeah.
People were laughing when Syria would say, we shut down 9 out of the 10 missiles, because yesterday's damage was huge and visible
This
to everybody.
never happened
Yes,
before.
this never happened before.
Usually they would launch a strike of 15 missiles, so 3 or 4 of them will reach their targets. This is what the Israelis were doing. And usually they weren't attacking directly. They had to go up from above the sea and attack from the Lebanese territories usually.
And or from Jordan or coming over the desert.
This is the other side. When they were attacking Aleppo or the Homs or Tartus or Ladiyeh or al-Sham, they usually attack from the Lebanese territories, from above the Lebanese airs, because they benefit from the geography of the western mountains of Lebanon, which is a block for the radars, and they can fly under the radar level and then just go upside it and strike and return.
The other thing is that they would, for the most part, use the F-35s to hit Syria because of the air defenses.
Yeah.
Yesterday they were flying F-15s and F-16s, and they're flying them over Syrian airspace and bombarding whatever they want to, as those Wahhabi Contras were looting the museums and archives of Syria, watching the country being burnt down.
Right now, I want to say a last word that here in Lebanon, we are worried about what's happening in Syria, but we know that here in Lebanon we will just stand fast here and defend our land, whatever happened, from the southern borders or from the eastern borders in South Lebanon or in Beqa or anywhere. No occupier will enter this land easily. They have to cross on our blood and on our bodies if they wanted this, because this is our land and this is where we were born and this is where we will die. Either we die fighting for the liberation and for the sovereignty of our land, or we live in it free and feeling proud of our land and existing in the land of our ancestors.
Well, this was our report from Arnon from Qalat al-Shaqif, Beaufort as it's known in French. You can visit our website, freepalestine.video, or alternatively laithmarouf.com, as we are now updating the website. Donate, share all our socials, and follow us on all the platforms. Until we see you next time, we bid you all a free Palestine.